See these rocks? Those trees. Water over there. This view. It's nice, isn't it? To some, this may just look like a scenic view. But to me, it's what the anime community looks like when we actually get along. The anime community is such a broad statement now because within it, there are so many factions you could write your own gang war movie. The action fans, the isekai fans, the romance fans, the mecha fans, the cultured fans. I could go on, and I already did a video on the demographic splits. Because of this, there are few shows that transcend popularity outside of their own factions. You may think that everyone has seen the most popular battle shonens like Jujutsu Kaisen, but JJK and shows like it are only as popular as they are because the action shonen faction, number-wise, is the biggest faction in the anime community. Your typical moe fan probably hasn't seen JJK and probably won't check it out anytime soon. Rarely does the anime community as a whole get a show that breaks that barrier. A show that has everyone in their body pillows watching because there is something there for everyone. Frieren is that show. As someone whose channel's slogan is a place where the anime community can come together, a reference to me watching so much anime I could talk to any anime fan, it would be quite dumb of me not to talk about the show that did just that. Frieren is one of those few anime I think deserves all the hype it's getting. If you've seen my anime 2023 video, then you know I predicted this, because there reaches a point in the show where the naysayers and mid-men change their minds for some reason or another. I mean, you've seen the videos. But what is it? How does the show manage to have everything from every faction of the anime community carving its place in anime history in only a matter of months? Well, you see, it's the only anime with these two in it. You guys thought I was being serious for a minute there. Well, I was. I believe in elf supremacy.
Oh, real.
Yes, let's go.
Real.
Let's go.
I love Frieren just as much as everybody else. My bias aside, my real answer is that Frieren is a masterpiece in the making, and here's why. The Nimi King has been defeated, and we follow the elf mage in the party of heroes, Frieren, as she begins to realize how different time is for her versus the other people in her life. Years pass as we test the weight of bonds through our semi-immortal protag Chan's eyes as she embarks on a new journey after the main one. Hence the title, Beyond Journey's End. That's the best spoiler-free summary I can give to anyone who doesn't know what this show's about. I've been quoted saying that Frieren is a basic fantasy on paper, but becomes something more due to its execution. And there lies the first reason why it can bring the community together. There is no barrier of entry. This show is quite easy to understand because when you say fantasy, you picture a world just like this one. You hear that, Crunchyroll? When most people think of fantasy, it's some Dungeons and Dragons type shit, not Demon Slayer. Sorry. I know fantasy anime sort of has this bad stigma to it due to the isekai copy and paste plague of the last decade, but Frieren proves that it's not the tropes that audiences are tired of, but how tropes are handled upon in lesser stories. It doesn't matter if you use tropes, but how you use them. Heroes party? No questions asked. Elves and doors? No questions asked. Demons and magic? No questions asked. We've been here before, allowing the story to get right into its core themes and spend more time on the things that matter, like the characters, which is why episode 1 hits you in the feels as hard as it does. Because this show isn't primarily about the fantasy world, but the people in it. Leading us to the second reason that hooks every fan to keep watching. If I were to describe the basic genre of Frieren, it would be a slice of life fantasy simply by how it writes its characters and structures the plot around their everyday lives, giving you the time to connect with them but still keeping it interesting because every moment is a small piece of world building expanding this universe. Power of slice of life. I mean, we literally go around with Frieren and learn new spells and pieces of historic events prior to the start of the story. But I think the character that perfectly encapsulates how this story is structured is Fern. Fern is one of my favorite characters, if you couldn't tell. An orphan child who later becomes Frieren's student, Fern is a character that grows on you because you grow with her. For the first 4 episodes, we are Fern, getting introduced into Frieren's daily life, from her collection of spells, to how magic in this world works, all the way to what traveling really means. At first, it's not even an adventure because these two stay in one place for months on end. Another example of time not really being a problem for Frieren, but a prioritized thing for those around her. I feel your pain, Fern. I do. But we get Fern's pouting face, so worth it. And although we are living through Frieren for a minute, the story just doesn't make her an insert character. We see her develop a love for magic, an organized personality because this elf doesn't have her shit together, and a curiosity for the world around her. She's growing into an adventurer just like her master. So there you go, all you isekai and shonen fans who like relatable characters to grow with, there she is. I'm telling you, something for everyone. What I love about this show's character writing the best is that every character has a quirk. No, not that. A quirk that makes their personality so distinct. And Frieren's is that she isn't that mature at all. Yes, she has her stuff together and she isn't a lazy screw-up, but she lashes out, judges quickly, communicates poorly, and is easily motivated by sweets. On the surface, it seems like Frieren is the mature one, but when you get to know her, she's a lot more childish than she lets on. And this begins to show more with her interactions with Stark. My boy Stark is the exact contrast to Frieren. He's not organized, he likes to goof around. He's not a mage, he's a warrior. He's not secretly childish, he's pointing out clouds that look like boobs. Yeah, boy. Stark's quirk is that he's incredibly strong and doesn't know it. He's a coward who really should be confident. And when you get more into his story, you realize why that's the case. Stark serves as a gateway to the rest of the world outside of magic. Magic isn't the only thing this world has to offer, and when the story takes time to focus on the warrior Stark, you see just that. Also, Stark is peak comedy, and you can't help but love him cause I wouldn't want to fight that dragon either, buddy. Stark is for the comedy and action fans, because characters who think they're weak but are actually the strongest in the room will never get old. When Stark and Frieren are together, it's clear they could learn a thing or two from each other, which is why they make for such a perfect ship. Oh yeah, romance fans, there's something here for us too. Yeah, Capitan, we sail with this one. I called this since the poster dropped, since Frieren first scowled at dude. Yeah, the shipper in me knew it. I knew it. And although Frieren is my personal favorite, I love Stark, and there are several fleshed out side characters to fanboy over. The best character in this show is our protagonist. Frieren is everything. If you ask me, the simple subversion of her character is enough to get anyone hooked. You start the series thinking she's your typical stoic elf, but come to find out she's a bit of a slob, is terrible with money, and I need to stress this when I say this, an 1,000-year-old elf grandma baby. Yeah, no, I know that makes no sense, but that's just what she is. That's what she is, and I love her. And she has a terrible sleep schedule, so I get her on a personal level. I'm currently editing this video at 4 a.m. Let me live. But when the going gets tough, she has a mature side that shines brighter than anyone around her. Funny enough, Frieren feels so human. She can be a powerful mage one minute and then stuck in a mimic the next. We are not one-note people. As much as we like to put on cool personas, everyone fucks up. Everyone has their hype moments and everyone cries. And to see this shown in a protagonist of the show that got anime fans from every corner watching just further proves my point. Frieren's cool, not because the story is desperately trying to make her be, but because she's just being herself. A common trait I find in my favorite type of protagonists, the protagonists after the journey. I love this type of main character. A good example of this is Gintoki from Gintama, a protagonist who has already completed what would have been their version of the hero's journey. And for some reason, they always seem to have white hair. What I love most about this protagonist is that they don't need power-ups or training arcs, because the story is more focused on their emotional state, not physical, giving the audience a message I think most media tend to skip. Coming of age is a nice story to tell, but you never truly stop growing. It doesn't matter if you're the strongest or oldest in the room, both in Frieren's case, there are still lessons to be learned and life to live. The journey never truly ends, because when one door closes, a new one opens up. And speaking of that new journey, it's, You think you're coming in for a slice of life fantasy, but then you get hit with the greatest action sequences you've seen in a minute. And it doesn't feel out of nowhere, because most of everything is foreshadowed from the jump. The use of magic. How demons use the craft. why every elf in the series is so overpowered, ancient mages that steal the show, Frieren's lineage, and so much more. You thought Frieren was just a lazy bum, but there's a reason for that. You thought Fern's attacks were basic, but turns out that's all she needs. You think Stark is scared? Well, he's not the only one. This show uses its slice of life scenes to bond you to the characters and its action moments to then watch said characters in all their glory. I mean, just look at this! What the hell is going on? Did I just fall in love? Before you know it, you'll have a Frieren jersey, Fern, Foamfinger, and Stark cat because this is your team right here. And can we talk about how the fights are constructed? We typically know who's stronger than who, but that doesn't guarantee a win. A fight between mages is like a complicated game of rock, paper, scissors. There are so many factors when it comes to combat that the smallest advantage like imagery, better mana detection, or releasing a spell faster could turn the tables in an instant. It keeps the battles interesting because even against a stronger opponent, we know a character with a good strategy can still win. Similar battles like in World Trigger or the Karuta matches in Chihara Fuyu. Video coming soon. All of this thanks to the talented team of animators at Studio Madhouse and Keiichiro Saito, the series director. This man has shown he has a talent for taking manga panels and really adding that touch that only animation can. Not only was he the director behind Bocchi, taking that manga and turning it into the fun hit anime we know now, but now he's done the same thing with Fern versus Lugner. Wasn't just shooting him with beams until she got him like the 2 pages, yes, 2 pages in the manga. She chased him around the castle, defending and attacking while death staring him down, making you feel as intimidated as Lugner. Just look at this close-up. Girl means business. This Laofan fight wasn't even shown in the manga, and the Yubel fight was given so much extra love too, exposing a lot of weebs for their new armpit fetish. You know you would let her ruin you. And the best part is, they didn't even have to go this hard. The source material is already good enough. But it's adaptations like these where I state my claim of why I prefer anime over manga and light novels. Cause it's not just the action. When done right, anime can take the story to the next level through the music, acting, sound effects, movements, setting the pace, and encapsulating you into its world, and the Frieren team understands that. Safe to say, anything Keiichiro Saito directs next, I'll be there. Frieren has it all. Great character writing on all fronts, great action, well-developed romance and relationships, an interesting world and lore, and most importantly, a message we all need to hear. I'm not trying to make this video too long and to stay focused on why every anime fan should watch this show, but there are so many characters, moments, and pieces of lore that I want to talk about, but I'll refrain from discussing because you need to experience this yourself. And if you've already seen the show, then you know. You already know. We know together. Comment your favorite character below. And although not much is known about the author Kanehito Yamada, I just want to say thank you to you and your illustrator Tsukasa Abe for bringing this story to life and helping Madhouse create one of the best anime of the decade. So, if you have not checked out Frieren Beyond Journey's End, don't wait any longer. No matter what type of anime fan you are, this is one show that was truly made for all of us. Because Frieren is everything.
Inside my heart, there's a sound only I hear. Where the wind soaring so clear. Let's go beyond where the clouds are tuning. What's ahead? Well, that's still far away.
I love Frieren, and I can safely say this is my favorite fantasy anime. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much to our Patreons, and make sure you guys follow us on all socials because we stream on Twitch and Discord. If you watched this far in the video, you're a real one. And as always, my friends, thank you so much for watching. I'm RJ Lane, and this has been On the Rise.